What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, I'm under the belief that Shiba Inu is now in a moment of truth, and it is about to decide something very, very important. And so, of course, with that in mind, I wanted to share that with you today. So if you, of course, do enjoy these Shiba Inu videos, make sure that you do let me know by smashing that like button and letting me know by subscribing to the channel. But with that in mind, let's get straight into the video. Now, looking at Shiba Inu, what we can see is that its price has been on a pretty steady decline over the last month or so. Now, this isn't necessarily something that's all too concerning to me, though, of course, considering just how strong and how much Shiba Inu has popped over the year, realistically. I mean, if we just zoom this thing out, we go out to the 4-hour charts and we just look at what happened. I mean, Shiba Inu made a beautiful break to the upside, putting in this cup and handle pattern, breaking to the upside, absolutely giga sending it all the way up. I mean, this little rally right here literally was over 400% over the span of a couple weeks. And so, of course, seeing some type of pullback and cool down at this point isn't really something that's all too shocking. The thing about it is, though, in the scenario in which we're in right now, it's not all that out of the ordinary for something like Shiba Inu to return all the way back down to what's called the macro Fibonacci zone, which is the 618 to 786 Fibonacci retracement zone, currently sitting between 1719 and 1321. Okay, that's pretty far from here. And if we are going to see Shiba Inu make a break back towards this zone of support and try to use it to bounce back up, realistically, that looks like another fall from where we are of another 30 to possibly 45% to the downside. Now, I know some people may not like that. Some people may not want to see that happen, but the reality is here that this has happened many times before, and it is a possibility that's on the table. But where we are right now could be the moment of truth. This could be the moment in which we could fight that move to the downside, finally establish support on a major liquidity level and use that support to continue to the upside. But sadly, if we do fail here, I think that's exactly where we're heading, and we might have another 30 to 40% to the downside, which would kind of suck considering the fact that we're already down 40%. And so with that in mind, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about exactly why this is the moment of truth, why this could be the level to hold us up, why this could be the level to stop us from another 40% correction, and why I think that there's a strong chance that it does happen. So with that in mind, of course, let's really get into the nitty gritty here, guys. Okay, now please don't forget, if you do want to trade some Shiba Inu, you can use my link down in the description below to over to CoinW. You can get up to $30,000 once you do start trading on their exchange. You don't need the KYC, meaning you don't need to give them any of your personal information. You don't need a VPN. You can quite simply just deposit funds and start trading, and again, win up to $30,000 and get free access to our trading group, which is linked down below, in which you can get free alpha calls, you can get free live streams, seminars, daily trades, updates, market analysis, and much more. So guys, go check that out. Use the link down below. There's no reason not to. But back to Shiba Inu. Okay, so overall, why is this the moment of truth? Why is this layer that we're at right now so important? Well, the reason why it's so important is because what we can see is that historically speaking, over the last at least 6 to 7 weeks, this has served as a key level of liquidity. As we started to see Shiba Inu's price making a break to the upside, we put in a mid-pump resistance. Okay, a mid-pump resistance is basically, okay, you take the distance from the bottom of your pump to the top of your pump, and you look right in the middle of that pump. And usually right in the middle, there's some type of liquidity that you ran into, like a slowdown. It happens almost every single time. And this little level right here, that 50% level of this pump, is usually going to serve as a key point of support if you start revisiting back to the downside after the pump. Okay, so of course, because of that, knowing that we have this mid-level resistance or mid-level support, we obviously are going to know that this is going to serve as a key level of support as we continue downwards. Now, this was visible right here. Let me zoom in all the way so you can really see it more clear. What you can see is that as we did venture downwards, we got right up to this previous level of resistance, and then we actually flipped it into support and then used this support to continue upwards. Now, not only just a little bit of a continuation, I mean, this was a beautiful 37% pump off of the establishment of support here. And so clearly it showed that this is a strong range of liquidity for Shiba Inu. Now, as we did continue forward, we started to pull back towards the downside. We attempted to find some support here, but inevitably ventured back towards the lower side of this range before then using that support to continue back to the upside. Again, putting in a beautiful pump because of the support, all the way another 50% from the wick, about 30% from the candle's closing. And so, of course, because of that, now you really start to get a clear picture of just how important this little zone of liquidity is in terms of resistance, in terms of support, and in terms of support. Now, what you can see is that this is the zone we are now at. If we see this support level hold, in my opinion, I do think we are going to see the break of course, this little trend that we have been stuck within, and we finally may look for a continuation to the upside. But obviously, the only way to be able to tell is realistically just once that happens. And so, of course, because of that, you need to be aware that although this is a very strong possibility, right? We could see the support hold because it did hold here and it did hold here. It's not what absolutely must happen. So you have to be a little bit careful. If we see this support level fail to hold, I'm under the belief that Shiba Inu is going to see a push back down to the 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone and revisit 1719, which again, from where we are right now at this exact moment, is another 30% correction to the downside. And so it's incredibly important that we watch what happens right now between point, or just let's call it 2090 and 2390. We watch incredibly closely if we're able to use this as support. Do we stay above this? Are we capable of using this to get the bounce above the resistance zone? Are we capable of seeing the bulls step in anytime that we start to get deep within the zone? Are these things possible? Maybe do we put in some type of double bottom here and then really look for a continuation? Is that possible? Because if it is not possible, and if we do come back down and lose this level, guys, expect another 30 to 40% to the downside. I know you don't want to hear it. I know that's not what you want to happen, but quite simply, that is a card that is on the table and you need to be prepared for it. So I will continue to update you as we do continue through this moment of truth, as we do see what happens at this key support level, and if we are capable of using this as a point in time to be able to bounce to the upside. Personally speaking, I will be doing a little bit of averaging in right here and just a little bit of buying, quite simply because I just quite simply think that there's a decent chance that we do hold some support here. You can also see that HD Algo is now starting to give us some buy signals as we are venturing towards this key point of support, which just means that it's a good time to buy. You guys know HE Algo is an indicator that my company made to tell you when it's a good time to buy and when it's a good time to take profits. DCA in means buy, DCA out means take profit. And as you can see here, historically, Shiba Inu has seen beautiful pumps after these moments, right? You look at this, we started to get them right here, right before we saw Shiba Inu make this recovery to the top side. So it seems as if it could be in a position in which we are finally starting to see this as a buying opportunity. Support could hold, and we could get this pump to the upside. So obviously, because of that, I will slowly start averaging back into Shiba Inu, adding a little bit more to my bags, and following the advice of HG Algo. So you can actually use it down in the description below. There's a 30-day money back guarantee, meaning if you don't like it, you can get your money back in 30 days, no questions asked, and you can get 20% off at the current price right now if you do use my link down in the description. So overall, feel free to go check that out if that is something that is interesting to you. And also don't forget that you can get up to $30,000 with CoinW with the CoinW link down there. So many incentives, so many things that you can make money off of, so many ways that you can win in this market. So make sure that you stay tuned. Keep subscribed to the channel, that if you do enjoy these videos, like this video if you think more people should see it. And of course, I can't wait to see you all very soon in the next one. Peace out, everybody.